basically we've delivered over $600,000 in payroll to active duty military spouses.
Hi guys! I hope you guys are having a fabulous Tuesday. I have a really awesome special guest with you guys today. Her name is Kimber. She is the founder of the group Virtforce. This is a group that I personally recommend, and I have it as a recommended group above. So if you are military affiliated, military spouse, veteran, and whatnot, feel free to go and check out that group. Now, I'm just waiting for her to hop on.
Perfect. Okay, so while you're doing your thing, April, I'll chat about Virtforce. Virtforce we started as an advocacy group about 11 months ago, and we are now a social impact business. Virtforce bridges the gap between America's active duty military spouses, so that may be a lot of you in this group, and virtual career opportunities. We niche down very deep. We are all about virtual work that you can take to any duty station or anywhere in the world with you. And we are all about specifically active duty spouses. We do serve veterans and reservists in the extended military community, but our primary and core group is active duty mil spouses. So that's what we're about. And over the past, hey, Army wife, I'm a Navy wife. We are in Pensacola, Florida. I wanted to share a couple of things with you so you can get a good grasp on what kind of an impact we're making. And Virtforce is actually how I met April, so I'll share a little bit about that in a minute. But over the past year, we have, I struggle with the way to say this, but basically we've delivered over $600,000 in payroll to active duty military spouses. Not to Virtforce, but because of our networking, the relationships we're building, and the groundwork that we're putting in for you, we're building relationships with employers so that you can have career paths and hiring paths through Virtforce. So we've hooked up, over 50 mil spouses with jobs. We are struggling to keep count because so many people get jobs every week. And we've been able to quantify that, so we're over 500,000 at this point, and we're excited about that. So we see that as a huge win for mil spouses everywhere. And Virtforce is how I met April. April was one of the first Virtforce members and one of the first to step up and volunteer her services to help the organization grow. April saw the potential in the organization. She is very business minded. She is very strategic, and I'm very aligned with that. So I love talking with her. I love strategizing with her. She's been very much, I would say, one of our founding members and helped shape several of the programs that we've created. So thank you, April, and I'm super excited to be in your group now and helping you in any way that I can.
Definitely. I'm so glad you're here. And you guys, like that internship, it's so funny because I remember my first call with Kimber, and she's like, April, you're pretty overqualified.
Yeah.
Why? like straight to the point, like, why? And it's literally because of the mission and what they're doing, and the potential was there. And I know like a lot of you guys in this group aren't military spouses, but you guys need to understand something. And the reason why I really wanted Kimber to be here is that there are amazing organizations out there who have the same mission as I do, really closing the gap on unemployment, creating, just more visibility to the remote work field. As technology gets stronger and faster and becoming, really a part of our everyday lives, there's so much more opportunities and growth out there. And the fact that Virtforce is doing such amazing work specifically for that, for military spouses, it's really huge. And it's validation that you guys, that this is a career. Remote work is definitely in need now, and it's in demand, and businesses are gravitating towards it. more. And so,
Oh,
Kimber, tell me a little bit
absolutely.
about your, because I know you work remotely as well, but tell me a little bit, just as the founder of Virtforce, what you're seeing with these companies and how, like, are you seeing like a huge incline of more remote work possibilities? Is it opening up to more industries? Like, tell me a little bit about your personal experience and seeing in the growth and all of that.
Absolutely. Trends that I'm seeing, the healthcare industry is starting to realize that administrative jobs and stay-at-home, phone nurses are a big deal. So that's a trend. The technology industry is very much taking advantage of um, talent all over the world by not making them come into the office. So that's like information systems, information technology, all of the stuff that you can do from home, and sort of how this relates to stay at home profit. And April, you focus on virtual assisting, right, in this group?
Yes.
Very. So how that would relate to you is there are administrative duties that need to be done by tech companies. So I'm seeing a lot of startups that
Yes.
are not even considering, like, even the idea of brick and mortar does not even cross their mind, not for a moment. Like, who has, $800 to $1,500 a month to pay for rent when they start a business?
Right.
Nobody. Take the business online, dump the overhead, find great talent that can work from home. So on that note, though, what's important for you as a virtual assistant or as an executive assistant, whatever it is that you're exploring, you have to find a way to overcome the challenges from working at home and then demonstrate that you can keep an office environment and you can exercise self-discipline and be a high performer even though you're not in an office. So those are the
That's
trends
so
that we're
smart.
seeing.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
make such a good point, and I talked about this earlier today, with a with another person in this group. It was that remote work isn't for everyone, right? It
Mm-mm.
can't be something where like, hey, every single person can do it out there. You have to have that self discipline. You have to know how to work independently. You need to be able to work by yourself. Like, that's probably like when we go to the dark side or the downside of working
Yeah.
remotely, we always see like, oh, the puppies and the rainbows and oh, the what ifs and how amazing it could be. But then we forget like how hard it can be working by yourself and not working with, coworkers, how hard it can be when you don't have a crazy boss overlooking your shoulder and, micromanaging you, because you have a lot more freedom, but that also comes a lot more responsibility. So do you have any tips or tricks like you can share with everyone about like I said, you work remotely and what you would give for everyone if they are interested in working remotely from home and getting into that field?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you a couple. The first thing is time management, and this is a really tangible skill. Well, it's kind of a soft skill, but I'm going to tell you a woo-woo skill in a minute. So, time management, which is putting yourself into a routine, developing your morning routine and your evening routine. Routine is everything when you're working from home. And you will find that having a solid routine in the morning can keep you happy, and having a solid routine in the evening can keep your work-life balance strong, because when you work in the house, you need some separation. You need, a space in your home where you're working, and then a space where when you walk away, you're not at the office anymore. So time management and space. And then my woo-woo tip for you, I've been getting a lot into mindset and embracing mindset and sort of manifesting the kind of environment that's healthy for you. So a lot of that is addressing what your core values are, addressing what it is that empowers you and makes you passionate about the job that you're doing, and taking all of the warm, loving, and fuzzy feelings from those core values and what's good about those and exercising them on a daily basis in your work from home job. So, how that ends up playing out in your day to day routine is that you're not letting the small things get to you. You're focusing on, so for example, if your core value is gratitude, you're focusing on exercising a mindset of gratitude all day long, no matter what your tasks are, no matter what is put on your plate. And you're actively working to express gratitude in the work that you're doing for your client or for your manager or for your team. So that's more of a mindset approach. And yeah, and April's right. It takes self-discipline. And I don't believe that remote work is for everyone, but I do believe that if you think it's for you, then it is for you. And you just have to embrace that, align your mindset with it, and take it on full throttle.
Absolutely. And it's so funny because I'm a very extroverted person. Like, if you guys have at least talked to me on the phone, you guys can definitely get that feel like, oh my God, she's a chatty Kathy, and she loves to talk, and I'm not very shy. And so I loved working a 9 to 5. I loved working in the office. I loved putting on a uniform and being a part of the team. I was a very sportsy girl growing up as well. So I loved that feeling. So I would have never thought beforehand that I would be in remote work and that I would be okay doing it. But it's exactly what you said. If you think it's for you and you have that drive and that passion and you're willing to make it work, then you can make it work. You don't have to be the most amazing person at time management or self-discipline right off the bat. You can learn that skill, you know, and just like Kimber said, it is a soft skill, but it's also something that you can teach yourself and get into the groove of, and then it kind of becomes second nature. And it's almost like, I don't know if you guys have read the book, but there's this amazing book, I believe by this captain, I could be totally wrong, but on his rate, or Gunny, my mom's going to kill me, you guys. But anyways, it's this book, and he's talking about how you need to make your bed every day. And I'll be completely honest, I've never been the kind of person that made her bed. And I hated it, but it's all about teaching yourself self-discipline every morning, getting up, you know, making that bed. It's not something that came easy to me. I'm a very natural, go with the flow kind of girl. I like not to have a care in the world. I like to do everything on my terms. But when you're in a work environment kind of like this, that you really need good self-discipline, you can teach yourself that, and you can get in the habit of that. And now it can become second nature. And then something that you never thought you could do, you can do. So I don't believe it's for everyone out there, but just like you said, if you believe like you could do this and that you see yourself doing this, this is such a great opportunity for you, and you can learn and you can get better. Kimber, tell me a little bit, like, I know you said earlier you were live in your group. Can you tell about like some of the amazing opportunities that you can find in Virtforce?
Yeah, absolutely. So last week we released a project coordinator position for a digital media firm. This week we released, or today we released a executive assistant position, and I feel like these are all jobs that would apply to your community specifically. I know we're on the VA track, but coordinating projects and executive assisting, very similar. Very similar. Next week, or maybe the week after that, we're doing another project coordinator position for a different company, and we don't usually share the company names. We have an evaluation process, so we announce the job, we allow you to view the job, and we allow you to apply, and then we do screening internally. After we screen, we'll reach out to you if you made it to interviews. At that point, you get to learn who the companies are. But one of the special things that Virtforce does is we vet all of these companies through an interview. We put them through the Glassdoor test, the BBB test, the rip-off report test, and we make sure that these companies are legit companies to work for. So you can feel safe if you ever want to apply for a Virtforce position. You're not going to be mistreated. We actually have the partners sign a candidate agreement outlining how they're expected to treat you even as a candidate before you're brought on as a team member. So those are the kind of things that you can find. Yeah, and we do a lot of career and professional development to help with other things. I know that you guys are learning VA skills here, things that you can learn in Virtforce. We focus more on mindset, LinkedIn, sort of the high level stuff that makes you a well-rounded candidate no matter what you're working on, whether it's your own VA business or whether you're working on applying for other companies.
And that's why I love Virtforce so much, is that you guys do take it to a different aspect. And what I love about kind of like what you said about virtual assisting can kind of lead to those jobs is that virtual assisting is just like a term, but it can be called so many different titles when you get into the industry. You know, virtual assisting could be a data entry technician, it could be or specialist, it could also be a transcriber, it could also be a graphic designer. You know, it's a very general, sorry you guys can't talk, very general term, but it leads to so many different opportunities. So I like to keep it as virtual assistant because you are assisting companies virtually. I feel like that just kind of covers all areas, but all those job opportunities, and depending on your experience nowadays, your background, your education, there are just so many amazing opportunities from entry level to professional. And something that I've learned just through my personal experience is that working your way up, grabbing onto amazing internships like the ones I had with Virtforce, really does help improve your skills and your resume or your LinkedIn profile to connect with those job opportunities. So maybe, you know, I don't have a degree. I always joke, I'm like, I have 32 credits. I've been to like 4 different universities because I moved around so much, and I was a single mom, and now I have 2 kids, and it's a hot mess trying to go back to school. But a lot of times I've gotten a lot of really amazing opportunities because I know my soft skills and my hard skills, and I'm willing to take on amazing internships and take on amazing opportunities and work from like different titles to really gain that experience. Because I feel like, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but don't companies right now really want that hands-on experience, that they're really looking on a little bit for that extra knowledge that maybe like if they don't have a full degree yet, that they can supplement with that background experience?
Yeah, let me speak to that because this is so interesting to me. And it's just this niche that we're in. It's this demographic. It is so different, and it's different in a good way. So let me explain. When I'm interviewing companies through that vetting process that I was telling you about, and I'm asking them, okay, I put them through a questionnaire, and I'm asking them, you know, all of the details about the job and all of the details about their ideal candidate. They always skip education. To be honest with you, I have to prompt them to ask, hey, do you want them to have a degree for this? And the answer is always, it doesn't really, I don't really care if they do or they don't. And then if they're higher paying jobs, I will recommend, hey, you know, for the caliber candidate that you're looking for in this salary bracket, you're going to need to require some kind of education. But anyway, the point is, hands-on experience is so key. And that's such a big deal for the mil spouses and veterans and reservists in Virtforce, because not a lot of them are in your situation, April, where, hey, I just didn't have time following my husband across the country, raising these kids, did not have time to finish the degree. Either that, or I've been in the military for 8 years and didn't think that I would need a degree at this point. So, April, I don't know if you're frozen or I'm frozen, but I think one of us is frozen. Just let me know.
Oh no,
I'll just keep talking.
I can hear and see you. You're
hey
good.
Jessica, hey Ramisha, hey Samantha. So anyway, the point is, okay, we're good. Okay.
Yeah.
The point is, hands-on experience is clutch. Getting the big trend right now that I am in love with is just-in-time education. What I think the abbreviation for that is it JITE, or it may be JTE, but just-in-time education is JTE. Okay, these companies popping up, doing pop-up courses that can teach you the skills that you need. Those are so amazing. So I highly recommend those if you're trying to bridge the gap and step into something new. And I highly recommend internships and doing gigs freelance for people here and there so that you have stuff to put on your resume. So yes, education is so key. Maintaining a positive attitude and maintaining a can-do attitude and sort of seeing yourself in the position that you want to be in, visualizing yourself there, and then every day asking yourself the question, what can I do today to get myself one step closer to where I see myself? All of these things sort of compile into laying out the next step for you and to getting you from point A to point B.
Definitely. And Exactly. And I feel like I wanted you guys, I know I say a lot of this stuff a lot in this group. And I wanted to get some backup with Kimber, who's in this field, who's working with these companies, who's seeing it, because I feel like I'm a mother hen, and not everyone wants to listen to their mother. And sometimes you have to listen to it from a friend or from an outside source. And I want you guys to know, like, you don't have to feel held back because of your past experience or because of your current situation or because of your future situation. You have the right to go and apply for these jobs that you feel connected to, that you feel like you could do so much good in that position. And I feel like that's where that mindset comes into, and that positive attitude and that believing in yourself and confidence that comes into play, because you guys have so much great skills. That was bad, but you guys have such great skills that employers are really looking for. And that's a huge thing now, is that they want to have and connect with candidates just like you, and they want you to reach out to them and almost like show them like, hey, you need to hire me, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. And coming off of that confidence, and they're going to be like, oh, I never realized my ideal candidate could be you, but you persuaded me and showed me that, you know, there's a need, and that need is you, into their company. So yeah, so thank you so much, Kimber, for like coming on, sharing your tips, talking about Virtforce. You guys, it is a recommended group right above us, above the announcements. Go, if you are a military spouse, go click on it, go join, answer their questions, get on their newsletter, and just the amazing brand ambassadors and community in there is just so amazing. It's why I'm so passionate about supporting them and their mission and whatnot. And then if you aren't a military spouse, there are actually tons of communities out there. And I suggest going on Facebook and going and finding them. And if you want to create a special one, take a great note of what Kimber did as a founder and how she pulled this amazing community together. And yeah, thank you so much, Kimber. Do you guys have any questions? Don't hesitate if you're watching the replay to post them in here. My team and I, we monitor these all the time, so we can come in and I can also get you connected one-on-one with Kimber and the amazing Virtforce community. And so yeah, so don't hesitate to ask questions, guys. And then any last words, Kimber?
Nope, just feel free to reach out if you'd like to connect. You can friend me on Facebook, and if you're affiliated with the military in any way, you can join Virtforce. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for having me, April.
Awesome.
I appreciate
Thank you so much,
it.
Kimber. My
I'll
pleasure.
talk to you
Thank
later.
you for spending your time with us today. Bye.
Okay, bye.